So let's talk about one of the most famous reel-to-reel tape manufacturers, BASF. BASF made their tapes in Germany since the 30s. Their first tapes were acetate, like many other manufacturers. Then they later moved to PVC, which not everybody did, for their LGS series. And we'll start with their LGS series. Their LGS series tapes were standard tape, like all were at the time. Fairly high quality. They can still be used today. They also had in this packaging the PES series, which was a higher quality tape than the LGS, but had a polyester backing. In 1967, they moved to their tapes. They just got rid of the LGS nomenclature and just called them, they're just standard tapes based upon their thickness and length. So SP52 would be single play 52 micron thickness. LP35 long play 35 micron. DP26 double play 26 micron, and finally TP18 triple play 18 micron. You would all see them in the same type of boxes. When you see these plastic boxes, you can see that there's two different fonts on them. The early font is a little bit blockier. You have a higher chance of getting the old LGS tapes or the regular standard tapes in these boxes. The newer font will likely have either the generic tapes or their LH tapes. Now, they were famous at innovation, and their tapes were always very high quality, especially when it comes to consistency of the signal. They had such a fantastic consistency in their production. And the quality is very high. They brought out their LH tapes, which is low noise, high output. They never really had a low noise tape. They went right from standard tapes to low noise, high output tapes, and they claimed an 8 dB improvement in dynamic range on their LH tapes. So when you buy tapes, you want to make sure that you're getting the LHs, because those are better than the standard tapes, even though they look the same, have the same reels, and even look from the color the same. It's very, very difficult. On the BASF tapes, if you take a look at these, the code of the tape is printed on the leader, and it's the only company that really does this, other than Ampex. This, you could see, this is an LP 35 LH. It tells you exactly what that tape is and what it would be good for. These LH tapes will continue to be made up until the end of production from BASF. There was a time when the tapes were rebranded in the United States for consumer use, and the LH tapes became the Performance series. And those tapes at that time all came in these dark black boxes, which are the more modern boxes that superseded the gray ones. They made this change around 1979. If you take a look at one of these, they also had for a while this single thread reel. This is a Studio Series tape, which I might as well start the next conversation about. The Studio Series was an improved version of the LH series with supposedly higher output. This was called LH Super in Germany, and later Ferro LH Super in Germany. This line of tapes does seem to have its problems. They tend to squeal, and on many of the German lots that I have, they suffer from sudden binder failure. That means the tape just flakes off the plastic without even knowing what happened. But the LH Super weren't made very long because they were superseded by the Ferro Super LH LPRs, and these are, as I mentioned before, this is probably my favorite tape of all time. Extremely good winding properties, and I think that's what makes BASF and Agfa tapes a little bit different, is they have very nice winding properties that even when you fast wind, they look like they are played, and you have they wind flat on the reel. These are excellent tapes. The Ferro Super LH was available in a DPR version and an LPR version. The double play being one of the best double play tapes. But the double play was kind of interesting because the double play is only 2,100 feet, not 2,400 feet, because they didn't want to skimp on the quality of the tape. Later on, they brought out professional tapes, the 911. This is a version with the later with the RMG production, and the 900 tapes, 900 series. They also had a range for broadcasting called LGR. They had LGR 30, which was a high output red oxide tape for broadcast and mastering. LGR 40, which was a gray oxide long play tape. And then they also had the LGR 50, which was a very high output gray oxide tape used in broadcast. Never really sold commercially, and mostly available in Europe. I do have some of that tape in stock. But in general, BASF tapes are very high quality, except for that one line that had problems. But if you can find BASF tapes, you'll be very happy with it.